What's up? Got a Tucson. Box is kind of heavy, so I don't know. Let's see what's in here. Okay. So yeah, I've been chasing this one around for a while, and this one has bumped its way to the front a little bit because I believe these are still available. I've had a couple recently that I think are still available, fairly newer models. And of course, when I get a newer model like that, if it's still available and new, I try to push them forward a little bit so it can help possibly to make a purchase decision, get a little insight on the knife. There's not a lot of Tucson reviews out there right now, so ooh, come on. Look at this thing. Man, I'm going to have to get a model number. Let's get rid of all this. I like it so far. Okay, so this is a TS165. And I own another version of this in 14C, and it's got G10 scales, like black and white G10 scales. But how do I pass up on this version of this beauty? Ooh. Wow, snappy. A little stiff. And the lock bar is a little stiff, like reaching in there. I mean, look at this thing. Got that fuller, but it's no good. So this is the only way in and out of this knife. I'm going to manipulate this action just a little bit on that detent ball. See if I can't preemptively kind of break this in just a little bit. Let's try it. I mean, super smooth, hydraulic. Whew, man, look at this thing. Pretty cool, man. Let's get in it. I'm going to make a reference note here where that's locking up. I'm curious how far over this lock bar this frame lock's going to be once I get it apart. Here we go. Let's dig in. Wasn't super tight. I see a lot of oil going on here. Kind of an interesting pocket clip design. Oh, it's got a flat surface, straight line. I like it. Good job. I mean, it didn't take much to change that from a full circle to put a flat surface in there, in that titanium. It's definitely going to help that pocket clip from ever wallering out or causing problems. Quite a bit of oil in here, so I'm not going to hesitate to let's just strip the knife and wipe it all down, get all this oil out of here. There we go. Everything but this stop pin. There it is. Let me check that lock bar real quick. I mean, I think it was locking up over there, like so. So, I mean, maybe I could take just the tiniest little tidbit out of that. But I'm going to wipe everything down first. Let's just get rid of all this oil, because every time I touch it, I'm just getting covered, my hands and fingers and everything. I mean, I'll say it again, but I mean, the oil doesn't bother me because I'm going to take the knife apart anyway. So to have to wipe the oil out of it doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. It's lubed, it's corrosion protected. I mean, the knife, how long is it going to be in that box? That's the other thing. I mean, it could be in the box for years, right? So, I mean, it's not like they oil it up and go, yeah, this knife, it's only going to be in there for a couple of days. We're sending it direct to you. No, man, they manufacture the knife. They do whatever they do to it, and then of course it's oiled and it's put in a box. Well, they don't know how long it's going to be sitting in that box. It could be in that box for 5 years. And then, they do a run on that model again. It's on a shelf somewhere. A distributor bought it. I mean, White Mountain Knives sells a lot of these Tucsons now. So, I mean, honestly, they could sit on a shelf for years. Well, I don't think you or I or anybody would want them sitting on their shelves for, years without being lubed up like that and protected. So it makes sense. It's easy to go, oh, they come so oily. Yeah, they do, but I'd rather have that than, corrosion setting in and all that. So that's my rant about it being oily. I mean, bought a new firearm. They come in a plastic bag, all oiled and greased up and filthy. I mean, that's why I check in on my firearms too. And to be honest, if I buy a used firearm, it's the first thing that happens to it, man. Before I do anything to it goes to the bench. Disassembly, cleaning, lube. Yep. Which, I've got some firearm content coming, and I've been meaning to do it. And of course, as things go, man, distractions and things come up, and yeah, but I'm gonna get to it. I'm not in any rush, man. If it's later this year before I get to it, that's okay. I got plenty of knives to do, catch up, and get them figured out and featured on the channel. But I do have some of that content coming. Been cleaning some land. Look at this. It says 064. It's numbered. How about that? Is Yeah, both scales say 064. I wonder if that's number 64. Interesting. Surely that's what it is. Pretty cool. I got number 64, man. They only made 68 of them. So, it's a pretty high number. Nah, who knows, man? I don't know how many they made. I'm not even 100% sure that that's what that is. I can't necessarily think of anything else that makes sense for that to be, but you never know. Oh, there we go. Okay, I want to mess with this lock bar real quick. I'm going to change the tension on it. Only because I don't want to change. I want to change this one so very little because I don't hate it, but it just wasn't great. And I think I could take just a little bit of steam off of that, make the knife much more comfortable, function better. All right, where are we at? didn't change it much, but I'm going to go with that. I can always do more, and I can always put it back on. No worries. Okay. Speaking of videos, I just bought a tractor recently, and I'm using it to clear up some of the brush and some of the land that I have. And I thought about video on that, but it's such a departure from the knife content that I thought, ain't nobody want to see that. Like, I thought about doing a walkthrough with the tractor and what my thoughts are on it. And I have been spending some time clearing land. I've got thorns and brush, and man, it's in some places back there it's 6 foot tall. And so yeah, I've got some land that I need to get cleared up. So that's the pocket clip screw. Let's get this one first. I want to try this action before I put the pocket clip on. I mean, it doesn't appear to be going over onto the blade for some reason. Why is that? I mean, without a doubt that fails. Yeah. But it's not going across, like the blade's not lined up for some reason. Interesting. Like it's not, yeah, it's got more tension on it. It's got more tension than that. It's just not, it's not going across the back of the blade, which doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, because I mean it's over farther now. It's just not, when the blade's in there, it's not allowing it to go over any farther. I'm going to finish assembly and then see what I got, because sometimes you just got to put the knife together. Well, it just needed more tension because now it's locked in. So it's lined up. I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and if I have to change it, I'll take it off. It is what it is. I'm not trusting the alignment of these scales and the blade and everything without having everything in here. Yeah, I just didn't have that tight enough because it's locking up now. Ooh, that's smooth. Oh, it's really not though. Yeah, it's not locking up. I mean, 100% that's going to fail because it hasn't moved over at all. It hasn't gone behind the blade. It's like the blade's out of alignment, and so the lock's not able to go back there now. It's blocked. Let me tighten it up again. Nope. Yeah, I mean, it's stuck on the side of the blade. Weird. Weird. All right, hold on. Okay, so here's how I remedied it. I loosened the 2 screws that hold in the metal insert. And when I loosened the second one, the lock bar popped over. So somehow there was a little bit of play in the lock bar, the metal insert. And when I tightened it down without it behind the blade, it wouldn't allow it to come behind the blade. So once I got it there, it went behind the blade. Well, then I tightened it, and now it's running perfectly. Oh, so good, so smooth. And that little bit of tension that I took out of it just completely transformed the knife. And it's locked up solid. You know, I got about maybe 20% lockup back in there. But, oh, is this thing run good. Centered. Yeah. Snappy. Can't fail it. Wonderful. Let's get rid of tools here. And towels. Tools and towels. Maybe we'll wipe it one more time. One more time. 10 more times. Okay, so let's talk about this action. I mean, drop shut. Very snappy. I will say that the flipper tab, it's sharp. I mean, on the end there, it's got a little up flip, and with the jimping on it, I mean, it's sharp. Okay. I had to pull that tape. That fuzzy sticking off of there was driving me nuts. So somebody mentioned this tape, and reviewers and stuff. I don't have a cut. But when I shot myself, I injured this finger. Like, yeah, so it's not a cut from a knife. It's a secondary injury from a gunshot wound. How about that? But I'm taping that to hold that joint in place. It feels better when I do that, and it gets painful when I don't. So I'm trying to heal it without going to the doctor is what I'm doing. I'm one of those idiots. But snappy, wonderful action, drop shut. Yeah, I mean, this thing has got it's A-level action. Yeah, it's A-level. Now, it took some tuning. I had to tune a little bit because the detent was just a little bit too harsh for me. But, I mean, it's A-level action. Let's talk about ergonomics. So, of course, it's got finger grooves milled in for each finger, and they work. They are spaced properly for my mitt, and wonderful. There's a platform here for the thumb up on top. I can also go behind. The flipper tab, you got not so confident, confident, very confident. That flipper tab with the rest of this grip provides for a confident grip. Definitely a confident grip, and that means I'm confident I can go forward with this knife, meet resistance, a belt, a button, whatever, and I could push through and not find my fingers up over my blade, you know, cutting me open, causing me to be a casualty. Yeah, so wonderful ergonomics. And one of the other things with this is the reverse grip. Wonderful thumb cap right here for stabbing down like such. And this thing affords for a pakal grip. My palm fits right in this front one. And then I can cap with my thumb. And now I can go this way, which I'd much rather do. I'd much rather be here than here. And so this knife affords that grip. Very comfortable to be here. I mean, wow, nice. Yep. Excellent ergonomics. Pocket clip disappears. It's not hot at all. Speaking of that clip, let's run it in some pockets and see how the pocket clip actually works. Thick material here, triple stitched. It goes in, but we run out of room here. The distance between the clip and the scale is minimal. So on this triple stitch stuff, not so much. This is standard jean size thickness here, and it runs perfectly. actually maybe not even enough tension there. I could probably increase the tension to hold that in better. Yeah, I think I will. So this was thin enough that I could bend it with my hand. And so I just put a little tension on it. We'll put the screw back in and we'll check it real quick. My guess is it's going to have excellent tension now in that standard thickness. Oh yeah. Whoop. Yeah, it's a dryer clip now. Ooh, wonderful tension in there. My spot back here, yeah, if I put it there and was running and rolling around, tossing on the ground, when I reach back for this knife, it's going to be right where I left it. Wonderful. All right, let's check it for safety. Yeah, so the very front of that blade right there is exposed. Just slightly. So if I was to, if this was in my pocket and I was to reach down like this and go here, I can touch that blade. What about the tip? Yeah, so the tip's recessed. So the clip's awesome. The tip's good. I feel pretty confident that I could handle this knife without cutting myself on that blade, but it is exposed. I can touch it with the knife closed. Yep. Speaking of that blade, I wonder if that M390 is as sharp as it looks, because it looks pretty wicked. Good looking M390. Oh my goodness, is that sharp. Yeah, good job, Tucson. That's the way that they should come out of a box, in my opinion. Anything short of that sharpness right there, I don't know. Just suspect to me, man. You make knives, you're sending them out, and then they're not sharp. I don't know. Maybe there's an argument for that, but I don't know what it would be, man. All right. Price and availability. Where are they and how much? Okay, well, pay attention, man. Here's some info. So, DWin99 has a couple of auctions running for this piece right here with the M390. They also, he also has the version with the G10, the black and white G10, and the 14C for sale. So the G10 and the 14C ones look to be going for $35 to $45. These, it looks to me like you should be just sub $100 at this point. Now, when these first dropped a while back, I mean, like most Tucsons, they went through the roof, man. Like well over $100 for these. They were bringing all the money, very desirable, but it looks like pricing has finally settled in to just sub $100. Now, White Mountain Knives has both versions available as well. The G10 version in the white black with the 14C look to be 40 some dollars, 10% off. Maybe you're right at $40 for the G10 version. And then that's no tax, free shipping. So if you buy from DWin on eBay, you got to pay tax. So figure that. If you've got, let's say you got a 10% tax rate, which let's say 8%, but 10% is an easy round number. But if you got a 10% tax rate on $40, that's $4. So that puts you at $44. You see what I'm saying? So that no tax and free shipping from White Mountain Knives, that's a big deal, man. The discount code 10% is down below this video. DM10 is what you put in the coupon code, and it'll take 10% off. Well, these are like I think like $95. Well, if you take 10% off, man, that puts you sub $90 for M390 and titanium. Come on, man. I mean, I had to look again because they're $95. So when you take the $9, I mean, you're sub $85. I'm just telling you right now. sub $85 for full titanium M390. I mean, that's pretty legit, man. All right, like White Mountain knives, man. No tax, free shipping too for that. All right, I appreciate y'all watching. Pretty cool piece. I mean, it's just gonna go in my Tucson collection, but I mean, it would be a pretty awesome daily carry as well. All right, appreciate y'all watching.